talk about eternal life and they're worried about losing their stuff and their money. I don't get that at all. Because you don't take any of that stuff with you when you die. None of it.
This morning, when I woke, I couldn't stop hearing teardrops on my ceiling, falling from the eyes of the beautiful angel I had slaughtered. Hold me, ignoring what you told me, only for a moment. Everything is fine and the beautiful golden path unfolding. Anger in response to my emotion, all the trauma left unopened. Throw it all away and fly inside, get high, good times I'm reeling from the raindrops on the ceiling. From your heart this is revealing. You wanna get away, you're bored into my
what are you so afraid of? Isn't that what life is made of? When you think about all you gave up, when you think about all the glamour and the money that they sold you, when the raindrops hit your ceiling, will you see a human being? Will you open your eyes or avoid the things this is revealing?
I survived what they sent to destroy me, resurrected like a biblical story. They thought that it was the old me, but it ain't the old me, it's the bold me. I survived what they sent to destroy me, resurrected like a biblical story. They thought that it was the old me, but it ain't the old me, it's the bold me. Yeah, I'm looking dangerous now. Yeah, they're looking anxious now. Yeah, look at their faces now. Yeah, how did they make it out? Yeah, I had to break it. I'm talking that family curse. Everyone said I wouldn't make it, spoiler alert.
Man, what are you so afraid of? Isn't that what life is made of? When you think about all you gave up, when you think about all the language and the bullshit that they sold you, when the teardrops hit your ceiling, will you see a human being? Will you open your eyes, avoid the pain? Girl, what are you so afraid? And 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 what are you so afraid?
So what's holding you back?
Fear. It's irrational.
What are we actually afraid of? Especially Christians. You talk about eternal life and they're worried about losing their stuff and their money. I don't get that at all. Because you don't take any of that stuff with you when you die. None of it.
This morning, when I woke, I couldn't stop hearing teardrops on my ceiling, falling from the eyes of the beautiful angel I had slaughtered. Hold me, ignoring what you
Life today, we have a number of massive developments involving the Treasury Department and the Small Business Administration. And we have interviews coming from California, from Circo, the Susanville Indian Rancheria Native American individuals. We have videos that we're going to show you today. We went there to California, interviewed them. But first, we'll take you to these breaking developments from the U.S. Treasury Department. Kelly Loeffler at the SBA announced the suspension of 7 companies linked to Firmage Crutchfield. That's the investigation that we've conducted. The Treasury Department announced a full-scale audit of the 8A program worth $9 billion. And this is on top of, as a reminder to date, we have saved the taxpayers over $320 million. Secretary Bessent has suspended $253 million in government contracts to ATI, and this was in conjunction with the GSA and Department of Treasury. DOGE announced $75 million in suspension in government contracts to 8A firms. So people talk about nothing happening. There you have the tweet from the Treasury Department. U.S. Treasury Department announced a comprehensive audit of the contracts and task orders awarded under preference-based contracting, approximately $9 billion in contract value. This 8A program represents $100 billion. That's 5% of the United States deficit, which is why we have the prices we have, the inflation that we have. And coming up here in a minute, we're going to have interviews from tribal members of the Susanville Indian Rancheria telling their stories of the 8A fraud. I think we have a little tease of that just to show you.
How much money that's coming in. It's heartbreaking because my grandma has a home on the reservation. There's no insulation in her house. And here you have this millionaire making money off of us. We're here begging for help. All of the things that were created for us, we don't benefit from. All of this money that you see, we don't benefit a single dime from any of that. Why do we have to suffer? Why do our elders have to not have health care? Why is our people struggling when we could be millionaires, you know?
My personal opinion is that they all need to be taken out.
We have a lot more coming, and this is fascinating to see these Native American individuals. By the way, these programs were intended to help them. Even if you like these programs, you'll see later on here on the show that the lawyer for this group is personally and viciously attacking me as being anti-Native American, but all of the people on the tribe, they want these people in jail. Even if you like these programs, they're not helping the people they were intended to help. Let me say that again. Even if you like the idea of these programs, they are not helping. The person has tears in her eyes. And by the way, there's a lot more. This is unbelievable. Our reporters went to California and attended the meeting. We're going to show that here in 5 to 10 minutes. But let me just take a step back. For the past month, we've been exposing this 8A contractor fraud. And every step of the way, we learn the rabbit hole keeps getting deeper. For those of you who have followed along, I appreciate it. For those who are just getting up to speed, here's a quick overview of what the 8A contractor fraud is and what we've uncovered. This 8A program is the SBA, that's Small Business Administration Initiative, that helps small business owners and controlled by socially and economically disadvantaged individuals to develop and grow. Now, to be eligible, a business must be 51% owned and controlled by U.S. citizens who are socially and economically disadvantaged. So we went undercover just a couple weeks ago, released those tapes exposing how federal contractor ATI Government Solutions exploited this 8A program to secure more than $100 million in no-bid contracts while subbing out the vast majority of the work to Accenture. Questions remain: to what extent is Accenture a co-conspirator in this racket? These Washington, D.C. firms stand to benefit. ATI's contract manager explained how ATI uses Native American classification to win lucrative government contracts without competition, only to pass 80% of the work to non-native subs while keeping a majority of the profits. Now, on paper, this ATI group, which is currently under criminal investigation by the Department of Justice, is owned by the Susanville Indian Rancheria, a federally recognized Native American tribe that's in Northern California. But in reality, the share of the profits have been going to a select few, like this CEO Firmage Crutchfield guy, who all the Native Americans want now to be in prison, and his white guys, D.C. executive team, that used the Susanville to secure themselves contracts and make themselves rich. You know, self-interest and graft and greed and corruption is just the norm in today's world. And the problem with these government programs is they seek to help the minorities, but in practice, they don't. So the theme of today's show is we're going to actually go to the reservation in California and take you inside the board meetings. We attended them last week. We went there. We go there. By the way, you know that journalism is broken when the unique value proposition of the journalists is to actually go to the location they report on. But we went there. There's the people who say we shouldn't have these programs because of DEI. But there may be an argument, in fact, to have these programs. I don't know. I'm not going to comment on that. But even if you believe that, for those of you who are watching, that we should help these disadvantaged people, socially and economically disadvantaged communities, that's not actually what's happening. But perhaps even worse than the monetary waste is the real human beings, the victims, who are being used and exploited for their minority status to make white guys rich. Firmage Crutchfield and ATI have raked in millions from this program. Here's a look at their profits, by the way. Look at this. We've shown this before. 200% growth rate, tens of millions of dollars a year, hundreds of millions of dollars a year. And remember, this is all supposed to be helping the tribe. We have whistleblowers inside coming to us. We have so many whistleblowers. I just spoke to one last night, and they sent us their council agenda for October 17th. I think we have that agenda. That October 17th agenda shows that Firmage Crutchfield presenting on Circo and actually provided only a $2 million dividend check signed by Firmage Crutchfield to the Circo tribe. That's all they got. By the way, the people there, they don't even see that money. Supposedly a portion of the profits the tribe gets from their partnership with Crutchfield companies, but according to the individuals there, they received none of even that money. So the more we dug and the more we realized the money wasn't going to its intended recipients, we started to doing research about what's really going on. There's OSINT, that's open source, and there's HUMINT, that's human intelligence. We went to California and met with Susanville Indian Rancheria, the tribe Firmage Crutchfield and ATI used to defraud the American taxpayer, and we heard how they were impacted by this scheme. I do want to address one thing real quick before I do that, before I take you to those videos. Before we play the interviews, I want to say a word about the tribe members. We used an image in one of our previous videos that featured their ancestors, and I want to make it clear that the tribe members and their ancestors are not to blame in this. They're not they are the victims, not the villains. But in using that image taken off the website, it might have come across that the tribe was somehow involved. That is not our intention. And if it was taken that way by anyone there, I want to sincerely apologize. They have come to us with these tips. We have insiders in California recording, and they are more upset than anybody because, in their words, they've been exploited. Now, let's take you to these videotapes. This is one of the most incredible things I think we've ever done. Following our investigation, we received this letter from one of the tribal members that sums up their sentiment perfectly. This is Ella Lowe, concerned tribal member. Do we want to read this on the air? This is pretty long. You want to read this? You want to read? Okay, a few minutes. I am Ella Lowe, a concerned member of our tribe. I speak not out of anger, but out of duty to protect what our ancestors built and ensure that generations after inherit a future grounded in integrity, not exploitation. There's that exploitation word. For too long, our people have been misrepresented, painted as seeking handouts, when the truth is we received nothing but promises and empty words. While others have profited, we continue to live, work, and serve with honesty and pride. The recent revelations surrounding the O'Keefe investigation have brought long-hidden truths to the surface, truths about power, about misuse, about leadership, that has strayed far from the values we were taught to uphold. Again, this is a concerned, if you're just tuning in, this is a letter from a concerned tribal member, and we're about to show you the videotapes. This moment has shamed us in the public eye. Let me be clear, our people are not the shame. The shame lies in the actions of those who have forgotten who they serve. Leadership is not a birthright. It is a responsibility. And it goes on about facing the truth. So, on November 1st, during the tribe's General Council meeting that was last week, our undercover journalists were there and followed up with tribal members expressing gratitude for the expose. Interviews captured raw reactions from elders, and you may just learn a thing or two about how these reservations work and the system. Our undercover journalist also sat down with tribal members and expressed their deep frustrations, feeling of exploitation, and a sense of being rented Indians, quote unquote, these are their words, to enrich non-tribal outsiders. Let's go to the first videotape. Roll clip 1.
When I was told with the video area chairman, I found out that day, right before Tuesday's meeting.
So what I'm saying is,
But what
are
I'm
you
saying
going to
moving
solve it?
forward, we should all see how this plays out. But what I found out, and I'm not going to speak for Mary or the rest of the board, I didn't know we had another board of those individuals. I know Circo, I know 4 tribes. I didn't know we had an ATI, I didn't know we had an SS5. But we have tribal members on those boards that we need answers from, and that's what we are doing.
Do you know what the meeting is?
Some of our members stole $500 million and give the elders or the kids money for coats.
Really?
They just have ripped us off. They need to be in jail.
Some of the elders?
You read it online. It's Small Business Administration that, man, they've been ripping off bad.
Really?
And they can't find one of the guys, and he's got access to $500 million. Where's he at? He should be at this meeting.
Who's that?
Doyle Lowry, one of the Lowry family. The whole Lowry family's been ripping off all this time. So
Interesting.
get them out of there. Go back to Washington, D.C. and bid on fictitious Indian companies that don't exist. They get extra money for that.
Really?
It's all a facade.
Interesting.
Yeah. It's going to be more interesting when they go to jail.
Oh.
How many subs? Okay, my first question is, are we a rent-to-Indian company where these government, that gets these government jobs? So it's not actually you guys doing it, but your subs are doing
Yes.
it?
We're just managers.
So we're
Well-
a rent-to-Indian.
Yes and no, I shouldn't say yes and no. Majority, yes. Majority, 85%.
So they're using our status to go and work at these places, right?
So there you have it. That's a secret recording from the board meeting where they're saying they feel like, quote, rented Indians. And this guy Lowry, who runs one of these 4 tribes firms, says yes, majority yes. Yes and no. You also saw Kurt Marino and Jean Lamar, tribal elders, that these people need to be in jail. You heard that right. These people are actually calling for the same thing that you're calling for, which is, I want these people to be arrested. Who's going to be held accountable? All a facade. It would be more interesting, they're responding to my cameraman, it should be more interesting when they go to jail. We also have a clip. We were able to meet with tribal members on November 1st. In the wake of these videos, we will also be able to find the Emergency General Council meeting. And I want to make it clear, these tribal members were completely in the dark. They did not know anything about these businesses. They did not know anything about the ATI group. You kind of heard the first guy say that. I've never heard of these things before, so they really felt exploited. And when they hear these big numbers being tossed around, they're not receiving any share of it, and they suffered. And they're watching white guys become millionaires. Roll clip 2.
We want to know what kind of money came towards our tribe. Who benefited from this money? I haven't seen anything come our way to help us.
We saw Arian freely speaking about how he's basically just being a shell company for these big corporations, or for this gentleman, what's his name, Crutchfield, and how he wasn't even someone who was part of our tribe, but he's making money off of us.
They found someone they could bend over and they use him.
These pass-through companies that they've created, we as a tribal membership knew nothing about until the O'Keefe investigation opened up.
I've asked them in a few meetings, are you ignorant or what? You can't run our business. Why do we have these people? Now look what's going on. We want to get rid of it.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're not dumb people. We don't need outsiders running our business.
We're not benefiting the people anyway.
We're not getting nothing out of it. I want to break away from Circle. We do not need them. We don't need Doyle Lowry and his, how many companies has he developed? It's humiliating that townspeople are saying ugly things about us, like we're involved in mafia. I mean, come on. The ones that are on these other boards, they need to be prosecuted for what they did, including our chairman.
And Arian was just playing dumb and just wanted to be like, well, I didn't know, and this is a big scheme. O'Keefe's a scheme, and it's the internet hoax.
If it's wrong, then it's wrong, and we're going to do what we have to do. If it comes out that this is a bunch of misinformation and it's all right, then we're going to have to make those tough decisions.
The idea that this media group has decided that they're trying to create some white horse that's coming in to save the day about SBA administration or things like that, it's absolutely an attack on tribal government and Alaska Native participation in federal contracting.
He's trying to gaslight us into thinking that this is a takedown of tribes and our sovereignty, when in reality they're taking our sovereignty and selling it.
I was going to use the word gaslighting myself. There was a mashup of clips there. We'll be putting this out on our X in a more edited down version. But there you have the actual Native American. This is fascinating. The actual people Tracy Lent, Susanville Indian Rancheria tribal member, is calling it gaslighting. And we're not receiving any money from this. And then the guy in charge, it reminds you of Animal Farm, the pigs in the barn. The people in charge are taking all the money and then they're attacking me in a very strange way. Go back to that Arian Hart clip. We're going to see if this is misinformation. We're going to wait to see. That's a very strange reaction. There's only one truth. He knows the truth. But he's wanting to wait to see what the perception is, whether he can get away with it. This is a human nature thing that we're fighting. Play this Arian Hart clip again. We're going to wait to see if it's wrong, if it's wrong.
If it's wrong, then it's wrong, and we're going to do what we have to do. If it comes out that this is a bunch of misinformation and it's all right, then we're going to have to make those tough decisions.
So, pause. If it is wrong, it's like, well, if people perceive it to be wrong. It really is so crazy. And this happens all across the world, all across the country. There's probably 20,000 other stories just like this one. The lawyer, play the lawyer. This is, I guess, a lawyer for Craig Jacobson. Go to his clip.
The idea that this media group has decided that they're trying to create some white horse that's coming in to save the day about SBA administration or things like that. It's absolutely an attack on tribal government and Alaska Native participation in federal contracting.
So it's perceived as an attack against tribal government. I'm not sure what that means when every individual that we interviewed claimed that the individuals making up the tribe feel like they're being exploited. So we continued our interviews with tribal members Tracy Lent and Valerie Edwards. These are brave people, by the way. They were willing to go on camera. This is not undercover taping. You'll see just how emotionally distraught they are, that people like Firmich Crutchfield are making themselves gazillionaires while the members continue to live in nearly impoverished conditions. We actually went on the location, and it was not a pretty sight. We also obtained audio from the economic meeting where Firmich Crutchfield presented the tribe with that $2 million check, the portion of the profits for the arrangement. And the moment a tribal member pushed back, calling the relationship, quote, rented Indians. Roll clip 3.
We hear about all this money that is going through certain tribal people's hands, but it's not getting to our people. So that's what I'm upset about.
To hear how much money that's coming in is heartbreaking, because my grandma has a home on the reservation and there's no insulation in her house. And here you have...
Unbelievable. Look at this. I want you to look at this. Keep the image on the screen, please. The humanity of this. You look at investigative reporting through the lens of villains and victims. I've never seen in my career a more pronounced contrast between the villain and the victim. This woman, you can't even afford insulation, and we're talking about hundreds of millions of dollars. Tracy Lent, tribal member, this millionaire guy, this white guy, making money off of these people. Keep playing.
This millionaire making money off of us, and we're here begging for help. All of the things that were created for us, we don't benefit from. All of this money that you see, we don't benefit a single dime from any of that. Why do we have to suffer? Why do our elders have to not have health care? Why is our people struggling when we could be millionaires?
Pause.
You know?
Look at that. Look at this clip. Go back to her. That was a very profound thing she just said. I mean, isn't that the intent of the program? I guess if there, I don't understand what the intent was behind the 8A, but please go back to that image. She's more interesting than me. I mean, isn't that the intent? If you believe in Lyndon B. Johnson's Great Society or wherever this came from, you're trying to help people like this who are a product of their own circumstances. And they're not seeing a single dime of this money. I just wanted you all to see the human face. The circle is now complete. We've showed you the fraud. We've showed you how it works. And now we're seeing the victims, the people in Susanville, California. If you don't know where that is, that's a very northeastern section of the state of California. an hour and a half northwest of Reno, an hour north of Lake Tahoe, way in the middle of nowhere. Impoverished. Keep playing the recordings. We have more tape from the reservation.
My personal opinion is that they all need to be taken out. And Doyle Laurie needs to go to jail.
Pause.
That's how I feel.
We have Valerie Edwards calling for Doyle Lowry. He's the guy who runs the four tribes. They want them in jail. They want them incarcerated for taking the money. They want the same thing you want. Isn't that interesting? Even though the lawyer attacks me personally and says we're targeting, this is all gaslighting. It's all a lie. Whole world's a fraud. You begin to realize things are not what they seem. Keep playing. That's all we have for clip 3. Let's go to the next clip. By the way, notice that Tracy said her grandma doesn't have insulation in her house. And keep in mind that Susanville averages 36 inches of snow a year. In this next clip, Tracy explains a beautiful metaphor for what's being done to the tribe by those with no vested interest in their home, their culture, and taking advantage of them. Let's roll clip 4.
If you go up past on the tribe, there's a new building that's being built for the health center. Going back again, that project actually doesn't help our people. It just is almost like a pass-through to throw money at.
Pause. Look at that. She even used the word pass-through. Sorry, I keep interrupting. Go back to the beginning of the clip.
If you go up past on the tribe, there's a new building that's being built for the health center. Going back again, that project actually doesn't help our people. It just is almost like a pass-through to throw money at. So you would think that 4 tribes would be in charge of that construction because they're a construction company, correct? But there's a construction company, they have their sign with their logo on there. And someone told them to go and make a line through our area behind our houses where there's artifacts. They also bulldozed a tree that I grew up with. And I saw the tree laying there. And maybe it was because I've had so much connection to this tree in my family. I felt like that's what Arian and them are doing because they have no connection to this place. And they're willing to sell it out to make something easier for some other people. And so with that, I feel like we need to have a voice, and, mine's shaky right now, but I feel like, it's time for us to wake up and to not be complacent anymore. It's time for us to be the people that, our ancestors called us to be, because my grandpa was a lone survivor of a massacre. And that same blood that's in him is in me too. And I want to make sure that when I leave this earth, that I want to make sure that it is good for my nieces and my nephews. And the fact that they're trying to steal that from us makes me really angry.
Throughout the course of these interviews, we unknowingly discovered that the tribal members were previously voiceless. And they thanked our journalists often for providing them a platform to tell their stories. Not just these, but many whistleblowers inside the federal government. Even last night, another 8A guy sent me documents from within his company where they were processing invoices and doing no work. And again, there are people who say that we should not have these programs at all. But maybe you're one of the people who say, no, we should have an 8A minority disadvantaged small business program. And if you're one of that, let's talk about you. If you think that there should be these programs, then these programs should help these people. Don't you agree? If the programs are there and they're not helping the people, if they're not seeing any money, then what the hell is going on? Even if you like these programs, like let's say you're Ocasio, I would love to get Ocasio-Cortez's reaction to this. Or who's the guy, Jeffries, Hakeem. I want to know what Hakeem Jeffries has to say about Tracy Lent, crying her eyes out that they're being stolen from. What do they think? It's fascinating, isn't it? When you actually realize this is not about helping people. It's about money and it's about raw power. They're not helping the people, the programs we're intending to help. But we're not done. No, this is going to be this. I'm going to keep this. This is going to be every week, each week, in perpetuity. In the next clip, you'll hear secretly recorded audio from the emergency council meeting as it quickly spirals out of control. We were there recording it. And all of the tribe demands Arian Hart, that's like the top guy, they all demand his resignation. Roll clip 5.
I've never told anybody they could take my sovereign rights away. And I don't care if the chairman sold his soul out for whatever, I never. And none of our people either. So our concern is our tribe. It's being slaughtered right now. I feel like we're being made an example to others. I requested that the tribal chair remove himself.
Like, I bet you got your shit brought down, here's your money.
Who stole money
from
the tribe?
There's none of that help. You'll help yourself though.
So if I thought that if me stepping down was going to fix all these problems and all these problems would go away and be kumbaya, that's what I would do.
Put that on the screen. You have Arian Hart, the tribal chairman, the head, saying, if people want me gone, I'll go. And then everyone's shouting, then do it. All the people in the meeting are screaming, that's what we want. We want you to resign. He's refusing to do so.
Problems and all these problems will go away and be kumbaya. That's what I would do.
Do it.
We're going to see it through as a council, as a
No.
tribe. Thank you and have a good rest of your weekend. So what you say, what you feel, go and vote.
It's just incredible. These tribal members, once silenced victims, they wept with gratitude at the chance for their truth to be aired here at OMG. Emboldened, they provided recordings, many of these, to our journalists here. And the act of their fearless truth turned their victimhood into a warriorhood, attempting to restore their stolen sovereignty. And they've thanked me, and they've thanked my reporters for providing a platform in which their voices could finally be heard. Now, we're going to take a few messages away, but when we come back, we're going to get reactions from OMG correspondent Mike Casey, who is in the field, to this whole story. We're going to have calls from some news sources, and we're going to talk about some calls I made to some journalists, which I recorded. It's entertaining, it's sublime, it's ironic. We'll be right back.
We're standing up to the powers that tried to discredit us, silence us, smear us, raid us, and throw us in jail. They've awakened a sleeping giant. We're building a movement of transparency and accountability in both the public and private sectors, because we run from nothing, we hide from nothing. And when you join and get your full access pass, you fuel a movement for truth. We are the media now.
Okay, we're back at The Price is My Life live, coming off of these new tribal interviews, and we have OMG correspondent, new to the team, Mike Casey. Mike Casey was in undercover in New York, and we're going to get to your reporting on the New York election and the New Jersey election. You went undercover to expose the nonprofit that we exposed in the film Line in the Sand. Before we get to that footage, your reaction to all these tribal clips and the 8A fraud that you've witnessed.
Who would have thought the deep state runs so deep it has its tentacles around Native American tribes? Who would have thought that? And what I noticed in particular is Mr. Kurt said, he's a member of the tribe, he said there's a board that he didn't even know of. There's several boards he didn't even know of. How many boards in your local communities or in your state or counties that you don't know about? These government boards that are having these multi-million-dollar deals that are in the dark. That's what the deep state really is. And if it wasn't for James O'Keefe and these reporters at OMG exposing this, how many other minority groups are being taken advantage right now? How many nonprofits are having all these the money being exploited?
I don't like the people in the tape said they didn't even know that these groups existed. They said that. That's right. And by the way, Elon Musk, speaking of the deep state, he retweeted your story. He reposted the video that you recorded. What accent was that you used when you went undercover in New York?
Well, Elon's an immigrant. I guess I'm an illegal immigrant, so I guess we have that in common.
You were posing as an illegal immigrant.
Yes.
So
I have no idea what accent that was supposed to be, frankly. I just thought of it on the spot. There was I've gotten people messaging me saying, was that Jamaican? Was that Australian? Was that Indian?
It was like vote. I want to vote. I want to vote. I don't know if that's Dutch or South African, but we have the clip. Let's roll the clip from New York City. This is from Michael Casey, undercover in New York, exposing. Just set up for the audience what you're exposing.
I was exposing Pedro Rodriguez, this nonprofit, La Jornada, which you previously exposed.
And he has a different location now.
Yep, he moved. Same location, no, different location, same name though.
From Queens to another part of Queens.
Yep, he moved it down the street about 15 minutes away. Different location, but the same name, same group, same people, same everything. And he was helping who he believed to be an illegal alien find a voting location. He gave me the address of his church to put down as the voting
All right,
the address
let's
to
see
vote.
the clip again.
Yes, I'm an immigrant. They sent me here to vote. I was recommended to come here to find information to vote.
Oh,
Sorry?
When did you register to vote?
I did not. I didn't sign anything. They just told me to come here to vote.
Okay. Vote too. Okay, but the guys are self-voting.
This is Michael Casey.
All right, so he told you who to vote for, which as a nonprofit he's not allowed to do because it's a 501c3 under the registered charity laws. So he kind of did that kind of secretly.
Mm-hmm.
And how much time did you spend with him in the office?
I spent about 15 minutes there. I walked in. I was trying to find some information. We weren't sure if we were in the right place or not because it was a different address. But I saw him. He was wearing the same blue shirt from when you first encountered him.
The exact same.
Same blue shirt. Same tie, too, I believe.
From my confrontation
So
with
I
him.
immediately sprung into action. I just thought of an accent on the spot. I think the real crime is the fact that he fell for that accent and didn't even notice I dropped it midway through. That's the real crime, I think, this whole thing. Not to mention the several other crimes, helping legal aliens vote, the nonprofit status, helping out candidates. You're not supposed to do any of that.
And it's so brazen that he just, within minutes, counsels you. We have another clip from New York City and some of the reporting that Casey did on the ground, exposing things.
O'Keefe Media Group reporting from New York City just before Halloween. And the only thing scarier than all the ghosts and the goblins and this rain this Halloween.
I think it was one of the other clips in the polling location. Do we have that? That's actually me in there with you. I actually went in there with you with a wig, the same wig that we used on the Rancheria, if you want to play some of that footage. That's me, pause. So that's me going in with you, getting camera B, actually recording this myself, and we actually confronted Pedro. Do we have that?
These two had questions as well.
Yeah. I remember me.
You are a bunch of thieves and criminals and liars.
Pause. So this is the guy from Line in the Sand that we exposed that he was stamping fake addresses and giving them to anybody so they could have a personal address. I gave him my name minus one vowel, and now I'm a resident of Woodside, Queens, New York. And this was in the film. And this is the same guy. There's no accountability, and they just started up. So keep going.
Yet.
Yeah, well, you said.
I said it so.
Yeah.
Just like the scheme with the documents from last year, remember?
Okay, you remember?
I steal
No,
children.
no, no, no. How many
I
people
steal
is it?
children. I
No, no,
steal
no, no,
children.
no.
We're investigative
steal children.
reporters.
How am I stealing children?
Why?
Yes.
I don't know.
Pause. He's claiming I steal children. Now, there's one of three theories about why he said that. Number one, he's projecting to his parishioners. He's saying, this guy's the devil. Let me just say a bunch of crazy stuff. Number two, he's projecting onto me what he's doing, which he steals children, or he's just nuts. I mean, which of those three do you think it is?
Well, did you notice when we confronted him, you know, he projected again because when we walked in, he said, you entered here illegally. Now, if an illegal alien enters the country illegally, he helps them vote, helps them get fake addresses. But if he enters nonprofit illegally, then he freaks out and calls the law enforcement. That's another sign of projection. Whenever someone commits a crime, or whenever he commits a crime, he projects it onto somebody else.
I mean, it's all a form of projection and gaslighting. It's a huge problem in American society, the amount of gaslighting. Speaking of gaslighting, we will show you my conversations with journalists at the New Yorker and Columbia Journalism Review, which I think are funny. I'll let you be the judge of that here in a moment. Any other footage from the New York City elections? I think we have some clips the polling locations. Do we have that? And most of these places, Mike, you visited these polls. Were they honest? Were the polling locations in New York City honest?
I'll give credit where it's credit is due. I visited 3 boroughs, Manhattan, the Bronx, and Queens, at polling locations, and at pretty much all of them, they were by the book. They gave me a lot of I voted stickers, but I didn't get as far enough to vote. I didn't get to do anything illegal, which I chose not to do. And they all confirmed that everything that Pedro was doing was wrong, illegal, and at best, just stupid.
How many polling locations did you visit?
About 5.
5? I think it might be a good idea for citizen journalists to do this every election, to expose electioneering. And I understand there are certain laws that prohibit recording, et cetera, but certain jurisdictions you can. And I think that'd be a good assignment for us. And you also worked with Scott on the New Jersey elections.
Yep.
So the outcome of the Jersey election, Democrat won in New York. Your political analysis on the situation in New York and New Jersey.
My political analysis is I thought Mondani was going to win by much more. I thought that he was going to blow it out of the water. I was surprised that Andrew Cuomo kept him so close. I guess Andrew Cuomo's affinity for attractive women definitely sealed the deal for him and closed the gap a little bit. New Jersey, unfortunately, was a real loss. Unfortunately, we both know New Jersey very well. We love New Jersey. It's our home, I guess. Our origin story there.
And we're both from the same Bergen County.
Exactly. Unfortunately, they gaslit a lot of people in New Jersey into believing that our candidate was, a crazy extremist who's going to raise taxes and ban this and ban that. And sadly, that we don't have a real media apparatus in many parts of this country. There's no OMG across the country except what we do here. So it's the people fall for the social engineering and fall for the propaganda, unfortunately.
Well, we need to change that, Mike. We need to have dozens of citizen reporters in New Jersey. When I went to New Jersey during the election of 2024, I was struck by how incredible it was to see the lines of 600 people in South Jersey, which is like very Republican area. They were not afraid to stand there for hours. Have any other clips? So a clip from this polling location? Let's play the clip.
Do you need to be a citizen to vote, or?
I don't think you need to be a citizen. You need to be a resident.
Oh, okay.
Alrighty, but the application will tell you. I may be wrong. But you're gonna
Yeah. Just because I've only been here a few weeks.
Right.
I don't know.
Pause. You don't need to be a United States citizen. You only need to be a New York City resident, they told you.
That's what they told me. I will give this woman credit, though. She did take out the form, and the rest of the clip, she looked at the form and showed me, and I actually taught her something because she realized herself that she was wrong in herself.
These are uneducated people.
Yeah, but that's the person who's run the polling location the entire day. So the fact that she just learned that in that moment, what does that tell you? Did somebody else come in before and just do it?
Yeah, we were able to corroborate that a couple illegal immigrants, they get through the system because they're supposed to take them out, but they get through. Keep playing this poll worker that was secretly recorded by OMG correspondent Mike
I don't
Casey.
know if it asks for citizenship.
Does it say it? Must to register? You must be a
U.S.
US
citizen right there at the front.
18 years old. Oh.
So if you're not a citizen, then you can't vote.
Oh, okay.
So when you become a citizen, then you can register to vote.
Okay.
You fill that out, and you need to do it like within 10 weeks so you can get registered into the
Pause.
system.
This is the guy that I spoke with, and I asked him, can you tell me who to vote for? There's electioneering in any election when someone there inside the booth tells you who to vote for, and this guy didn't fall for it. He was a pretty honest broker. I think he, unlike the government subcontractors that receive hundreds of millions of dollars, this minimum wage-esque poll working employee realized that the toupee was pretty absurd. Roll clip.
Well, the election, though, so I feel kind of ignorant, so I don't know.
Correct. Well, if you're not registered, you can't vote anyway, so it doesn't really matter whether you know anything or not. Not to be rude.
That's what the pastor said to vote for the guy with the M.
Who said that?
The pastor.
Yeah, La Jornada. Mr. Rodriguez.
Who's that?
Pedro Rodriguez.
I think pastors should stick to God.
Pause. I think pastors should stick to God. A little bit of an anti-religious remark, but he seemed like a pretty honest broker.
Yeah, it's good to see at least some people in our elections bureaus have some integrity left in them.
I think we need a complete citizen journalism forensic audit of all polling locations to determine what percentage of New York City and New Jersey polling locations will give you electioneering. Is it 5%? I would like to see the comments. Team, if you could tell me what the comments think. Is it 5% electioneering, 10%, 20%, 50%? There's going to be some honest ones. Let's call it at least 50% are honest. But even if you have 10 or 20% of electioneering, or the 2%, okay, 2% are electioneering, right? It's at least 2%. I don't know what the answer is. It's more than 2%, less than 50%.
2%'s a lot of votes.
It's a lot of votes.
Yeah, even just there's a city of millions of people.
We need a full citizen journalism forensic audit come next elections, and we're gonna have a groundswelling and of course they're gonna try to use the legal issues, and 10 to 20%. Now that's more like it. The comments are saying 10 to 20%. I think that's about right. If I were to ask people in Queens and Astoria or Manhattan, who should I vote for? I think 10 to 20% would say vote for Mondami. And that's what you found Miss Laura Jornada doing.
Yeah, and that woman, not to pick on her, but that woman we showed in the first clip of the poll worker, she was in Manhattan, near Midtown. Credit where it's due, she admitted she was wrong in the end and corrected herself. But up until I pointed that out, me, the illegal immigrant, pointed that out that, on reading the form, she didn't even know you had to be a citizen to vote. She wasn't even sure about that. And she's a poll worker. So what are they teaching these poll workers? What are these class? Because every poll worker has to have a poll worker class. What are they teaching you in this class? So much so this poll worker didn't even know herself. Some did, credit, but she didn't know. And one thing to note too, James, is Pedro was when he was you have to have an address to vote. You have to have a home address to go to certain
which he stamps the paperwork with fake addresses.
Well, for me, he was defining my poll location as an illegal immigrant to go vote at. He was putting in the address of his church. So I'm interested to see how many people have voted from that church, the nonprofit address.
Well, that is something to follow. Where are they now? We've always wanted to do Where Are They Now? The call-in live number, 864-713-9868. That's 864-713-9868. That's not even our signal number, which is for sources and the people who have an actual tip or a source that want to call in and talk about it will give you priority. We will be right back after these sponsor advertising. Speaking of gold, it's at like $4,000 an ounce. And our Citizen Journalism Gala is coming up in 2 days from now at the Mar-a-Lago. There's going to be 500 people there. I'm really excited about the Citizen Journalism Gala because it's not like most galas. I told you last time, people talk about which famous people are going, James. It's not like that. It's a heroic energy. It's whistleblowers. It's undercover people. It's people that you don't know their names, but they're incredibly brave. When they speak, you will tear up. And for that reason, people who don't like these types of events will like this event. It's completely sold out. Everyone's been asking me for tickets today. Citizen Journalism Foundation is the 501c3 that is replacing Project Veritas, what was formerly known as Project Veritas, and it's going to be an unbelievable event. So we'll be right back, and we're going to go to my phone call with the Columbia Journalism Review and the New Yorker magazine. See you in 60 seconds.
We're standing up to the powers that tried to discredit us, silence us, smear us, raid us, and throw us in jail. They've awakened a sleeping giant. We're building a movement of transparency and accountability in both the public and private sectors, because we run from nothing, we hide from nothing. And when you join and get your full access pass, you fuel a movement for truth. We are the media now.
This is James O'Keefe. You know me for exposing the truth and holding the corrupt elite responsible and accountable. However, today I want to tell you about protecting your own freedom, your finances. Before you buy any gold or silver, hear this. We're going through one of the biggest financial shifts of our lifetime. De-dollarization. Nations like China, Russia, and Saudi Arabia are pulling away from the US dollar. And that threatens your savings and retirement security. Legendary investor Ray Dalio warns skyrocketing debt, relentless money printing, and a weakening dollar are all part of a dangerous cycle that could impact you. That's why more Americans are turning to real assets like physical gold and silver. Gold just surged past $3,700 per ounce, and momentum is building. I've partnered with veteran-owned American Independence Gold to help you take action. Open a qualifying account today and get up to $10,000 in bonus gold and our free gold protection guide. And here's the best part. A portion of every sale supports Tunnel to Towers and Wounded Warriors. Freedom isn't given, it's secured. This is James O'Keefe. As always, this is not financial advice. Always check with your licensed financial advisor before you invest. All right, the latest article, if you're just joining us, we've gone over the Susanville Rancheria fraud, the New York City electioneering fraud by Pedro Rodriguez, and now we're going to talk about the mainstream media. I wouldn't call it fraud, I would call it something. We'll let you be the judge. The New Yorker magazine, if we can throw that link up on the screen, did a big profile on Laura Loomer, who I hired at Project Veritas. And New Yorker magazine, well, the fact, we have a quote from the New Yorker magazine. This is from Laura Loomer's Endless Payback. And I'm going to read you the coverage from the New Yorker magazine before we cut to my recording with the reporter, staff writer at the New Yorker. Antonio Hitchens is her name. Staff writer, New Yorker. But from the actual article at the New Yorker, interviewing Laura Loomer, and asked me what I think about Laura Loomer. Now, Laura Loomer is like a sister to me. She's someone I've known for a long time. Do we have the article? Can we throw it up on the screen? New Yorker magazine. And I'll go ahead and send it to my production team right now. They asked me about Laura Loomer and trying to get dirt, trying to get information. And they ended up in this fact-checking email. Maybe we can just pull up the fact-check email. They call me a right-wing extremist or something like that. You are the founder of Project Veritas, which is a far-right undercover journal. Far-right. What the hell does that even mean, far-right? What if anything that I've ever said, not even on this show, but in my life, constitutes a far-right? This is a fact-checker, Alex Brady. So we call Alex Brady, the fact-checker, and be like, what are you talking about? And then we call the actual writer, and the recording you're about to see is that conversation, which we find very entertaining. Go ahead, play the tape. Well, the fact checker reached out to me from New York Magazine and said that I am the sole founder of Project Veritas, which is a far-right undercover journalist outlet. I reject the characterization, and I'd like to know from you what evidence that you have that the organization I founded is a far-right undercover journalism organization.
I actually can't really comment on what the fact checker asked you because I haven't spoken to her, but why don't we decide how you want to characterize
Aren't you the writer
yourself?
of the article? Pause. So this is wild. The fact checker is not. It's just like a little intern thing at the end of the article to just check the facts that have previously been written. And now the writer is claiming that no, I don't even know what this is about. That just to show you how ridiculous the situation is. But keep going. Keep playing. Question?
Yes, but the fact checker is, sometimes like she might look up some kind of definition for something and ask about it. So,
Hi there. I think your fact checker reached out to me. So do you want to talk to me, or do you want to talk to them?
I'm the fact checker.
Okay. I do reject the characterization that Project Veritas is a far right journalism outlet. What do you mean by far right? Help me understand that.
Yeah, that's Antonia's characterization.
Okay.
She felt her coverage aligns with that label. I would have to talk to her about what led her to decide to use that language.
Yeah, I don't agree with that. I'll call her. The fact checker is just relaying your reporting to me, and I'm telling you that I reject the characterization that the organization is far right. But
Okay,
maybe
so
a better
let's-
way to put it is, what led you to say that?
I'm imagining that came from previous descriptions used in the New Yorker.
Yeah, that's Antonia's characterization.
Who wrote that? Was that you? Was that your colleague? Was that an intern?
It seems like we had some crossed wires here. You and I have not yet had the chance to speak, so fact checking things that you haven't said to me is not helpful. Why don't we have you describe to me how you see your organization, and then we can go from there so we can just move forward.
Investigative journalism organization. Just
An investigative journalism undercover outlet. I think that's more descriptive.
far right. You know, it's challenging for me because I want to talk to you. It's just that these sorts of like little digs. You understand what I'm saying? They're little digs.
No,
they're
I
little,
totally understand.
They're little. They're like
I
little
totally-
knives. Like let me try to discredit. And I don't know who is the person in charge that does this, but had I not called you, you would have gone to print with far right.
Maybe there was an article in the New Yorker 8 years ago that used that term.
So that's like the circular. It's kind of like a pattern of propaganda. I was going to say circle jerk, but that's not appropriate. So it's kind of like a circular pattern of propaganda where we cite something that isn't true repeatedly and source it, and then it appears in the New Yorker magazine. Right? Hello?
Do you want to communicate directly to me how you want to describe your organization?
Yeah,
or
I
do you
think
want to
that's
conclude this?
asked and answered. I think we did so a few minutes ago.
Okay.
Can you get back to me on what led Alex Brady, the fact checker, to say that I'm a far right journalist?
I can ask her about that for sure.
Yeah, that's Antonia's characterization.
Can we just jump on a three-way?
I can't do that this second because I have to get on the train to New York. But
Okay.
I think that we've kind of reached the end of the
Okay.
usefulness of the far right debacle. I think we probably agree that it's an overused term that gets thrown around. And
I just have one more question for you. Can you name anything that I've done in my life that would make me far to the right? Anything at all?
I'm not using the term far right to describe you, and so I don't see the usefulness of continuing this
All right.
discussion. But
I hear you. It's just here's what I'm just gonna pursue that digression. So the issue is that what led you to say it in the first place, though, because it's not really something that you need to get from me. It's a characterization. It's a description. If you're unable to answer for me, if you ever have witnessed anything in your entire career, if you've never seen anything I've said or done that's right wing, I would like to better understand the psychology of the mainstream media that would lead you to say that. Because honestly,
Yeah,
I'm not a far right person. I'm a pretty straight as an arrow. Factually, I take this very seriously. I take what I do very seriously.
we've spent 25 minutes on the phone, most of it you being heard about how we've corrected a characterization of you that you disagreed with.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
There you have it. Hitchens? Antonia Hitchens. You could just kind of, the way they talk, it's their cadence. It's their weird voice that they have. Pretentious, sort of circular, I call it a circle jerk. A more appropriate, politically correct way would be to put it circular messaging, where they say something false and then other people cite it, so you have to do this type of thing. If you're watching, this is what you have to do. Correspondent Mike Casey, your reaction to that unbelievable phone call with the New Yorker.
The hunter became the hunted. She thought she was going to get you in a gotcha moment after Laura Loomer, but she didn't realize who she was dealing with. She was dealing with the two greatest journalists the world has seen in modern history, Laura Loomer and James O'Keefe. She spoon-feeds corporate slop in propaganda to the masses, posing as a journalist, and she thought she had one up on you, but the hunter became the hunted.
The hunter became the hunted.
You got her good, and she didn't see it coming. She was deer in the headlights. She didn't see it coming at all.
And I think that the New Yorker they came out with the article, they did not use far-right descriptions, but we can't pull up the article because it's behind a paywall. But suffice to say. Now, moving on to the next subject, the Columbia Journalism Review. By the way, if you're watching this and you want to learn how to do the citizen journalism, O'KeefeMediaGroup.com, you can become a member and you can subscribe to the O'Keefe Academy, where you learn how to do FOIAs, you learn how to do undercover work, you learn how to do this sort of elicitation techniques. But we have this gala on Thursday evening. It's going to be unbelievable. CitizenJournalistGala.com. And the Columbia Journalism Review wants to talk to me about it. So I get a call, and I take the call. And do we have that clip?
Do you have any?
Here we go. This is me speaking to the Columbia Journalism Review. What's his name? Amos Bouchard. Columbia Journalism Review. Here we go.
Do you have any questions about myself or CJR that I can
Well, my team is concerned you're going to write a nasty article and not be fair to us. So what do you think about that?
No, I understand, of course. I'm sympathetic to anyone who, speaks to reporters in a context, and I know it could be like a vulnerable thing.
I've been through everything. I've been arrested, raided, sued. I'm not afraid to be vulnerable.
Yeah. No, of course, yeah.
What do you think about what the work we do, the undercover journalism? And did you see the recent stories involving the SBA and the suspension of contracts and the Treasury Department? And only the Wall Street Journal has reported on this, and credit to the Wall Street Journal, the Treasury Secretary, the SBA. No, I don't think any major media has reported this. It's an extraordinary series of events that this program has been defunded. The SBA is suspending contracts and auditing $9 billion. And if you did not follow social media and you only read the New York Times and the Columbia Journalism Review and CNN, you wouldn't know about it. So we asked the Columbia Journalism Review guy about this, and let's see what he says. Journalism, and did you see the recent stories involving the SBA and the suspension of contracts and the Treasury Department?
And I tell you, pass-throughs are a great thing as well.
Yeah,
pass-throughs. Undercover and the ridiculous wig exposing the corruption and the lies.
I haven't had a chance to delve into the extent that I'd like to, but I have been keeping up and reading up kind of in preparation for this. Of course, our goal is to provide fair coverage.
Reporting. How long have you been an investigative reporter?
I'm not an investigative reporter. I'm just I'm a staff writer here at CJR. I've been here about 2 months.
What's your favorite investigative report that we've done here at OMG?
I'm sorry, I don't have. I could if you have, I could be happy to kind of get back to you with answers.
Why does a guy call me and never watch a single thing that we've done? By the way, that's a question I ask prospective employees. Can you name our favorite video? And they always say Pfizer. It's like, that's not even an OMG video. That was Project Veritas video, but it was a great one. Okay, keep going. Back to the tape.
I'm sorry, I wasn't prepared. I wouldn't say I'm an expert.
You don't need to be an expert to be able to recount one thing that you've seen that you like.
I would say I'm kind of more in the traditional mold where I try not to express opinion one way or the other.
Me
right?
too. Me too.
Yeah, no, totally.
Well, I'm interested in having you report on it. I'm interested in having you there. Have you ever been to Trump's Mar-a-Lago?
No. Yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, very interesting.
You need to stay neutral and non-biased in your coverage, right?
Of course, yeah. That's always the goal.
It's kind of a challenge, isn't it, in today's environment?
Absolutely, it is. A lot of it is, as I'm sure you know, perception, right? Things you can't control.
Everyone wants to have an opinion about everything. Sometimes it's important to say, I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. I'm from the Andrew Breitbart tradition of just, let everyone watch what we're doing and report on it. A lot of concern from people here that you're going to write a hit piece.
No, I understand, yeah.
The guys label me a right-wing activist, and it's just ridiculous. I mean, I'm not a right-wing activist. I don't think that's a fair characterization of the work that we do here.
I didn't write that, so I can't defend that specific piece. I don't know specifically the one you're thinking of.
Well, it's just like a right-wing extremist. I don't even know what that means, right-wing extremist. What does that mean?
Right. It could mean a lot of different things, yeah.
I will hold you accountable if you write a hit piece.
I understand, and I can assure you that we'll fact check.
This is serious stuff we're talking about here. So
I agree. My plan is to cover the gala as its own piece. Yeah, that's my plan. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking of. And then from there, we can of course keep talking about coverage because my intention isn't to come in and just do one piece. It's to keep covering this world, this scene, because I'm really interested in it. It's also just reading that are trying to understand the world we live in, I think would benefit from learning about these people.
I'd like to learn more about you. Can I interview you for OMG?
I'll ask my I'll run it by my.
How does that? No, come on. How does that work? Come on. I'm giving you a ticket, which costs me money.
Yeah.
We got to be transparent.
But not on stage, right? That's what we're talking about. Just like
I could give you a shout out from the stage. I could say, and we have someone from the Columbia Journalism Review here. I could give you a shout out, and then I could ask you to stand up, and I could point at you.
Of course I'd want to. It is important to identify and make sure everyone knows.
People might throw tomatoes and vegetables. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Ready to duck. Yeah. I'll bring a raincoat.
You got to bring a tuxedo though. You got to wear a black tie.
Okay. All right. Yeah, that's good to know.
They're calling it Black Tie Event at the Mar-a-Lago. Black tie. Right?
That's good. That's nice.
Do you have a tuxedo?
I don't, but I will definitely acquire one.
Are you going to rent or buy?
What do you think? The only other time I've
It depends upon. Do you work out? Do you work out? Because if you have broad shoulders, sometimes the stuff off the rack doesn't fit.
Oh yeah, no, that's not going to be a problem. For my physique.
I'll put you on the list, and you could text me your information for the Secret Service, name on ID, cell phone, and email, and we'll get you in there. Okay?
All right. Thanks.
I'll see you on Thursday. Thank you.
All right. Thanks.
Bye-bye. All right, so we'll give Amos Bashad the benefit of the doubt. He'll be there. Everyone will be there. Without accountability, freedom is an illusion. And this is a huge story. If you're just tuning in, we're wrapping up here on The Price is My Life live. We're doing a new format. We're distributing these video clips from the Susanville Indian Rancheria, these Native American elders who feel they're being exploited and being taken advantage of. And as we continue our undercover investigation into waste, fraud, and abuse in the 8A program, suffice to say, I'll never be out of work, exposing all of this. And we have sources that we're working with right now who have sent us a slew of new documents. So we'll get those clips up for you out immediately. And you'll get to see the Columbia Journalism Review at the Mar-a-Lago. What an incredible thing I've done. We've managed to get the Columbia Journalism people, the Trump people, the DOJ people, the Native Americans. I mean, it's what unites us is so much more powerful than what divides us, as my friend Laura Logan once told me. But Mike, your reaction to that?
It's like amateur hour of journalists here. I mean, this is really the new generation of journalists between those two young ladies and then this guy. You have journalists at OMG who put their lives on the line, willing to sacrifice everything to get a good story, get the truth out there. But this guy was too scared to even tell you if he liked any of your stories or his thoughts on your stories were. And if he's doing a story on you, he should know all of your investigations. But he's too scared to talk about one. It's fear. And why does and going back to the young woman from earlier, why does a journalist need a fact checker? Their jobs as journalists are to be fact checkers themselves. And
Well,
to
to
seek the
be
truth.
fair, I think these newsrooms, before they run something, they have to have like this official position that just goes line by line to make sure everything's correct. But it did seem like there was some chicanery there, because she said, well, I don't know what that's about, and I don't know who. They're all pointing their fingers at each other.
I'm not sure I trust a fact checker wears a mask in 2025, though. Not sure about that.
Yes. Well, we'll see you at the Citizen Journalism Foundation Gala. For those of you who are attending, you can donate to our nonprofit to fund this heroic work. And I'm really excited about this event because it's going to be an event that honors people. I've been asked many times which famous people are coming to the gala, and I tell them this gala is not for you. And if you don't like these types of events, by the way, I'm not one who does particularly like these types of political events, you will like this event because you're going to be around people who actually do things. And they're not big names, but they're big men. A celebrity is a big name. A hero is a big man. And we're going to honor them. And it's going to be quite moving. And I've never been more excited about anything in my life, actually, than this Thursday. I'm not exaggerating. And I think it'll be a dawn of a new era for Citizen Journalism Foundation, which is our nonprofit with OMG that funds the deep dive investigative reporting. If we could just close out the show by playing that clip again. This is the Susanville Indian Rancheria lady, the tease clip that you played at the beginning of the show. If we could just play that very, very moving moment. And we're going to put all this out for you on X here. And we have one caller. Play the clip, we'll go to the caller, and then we'll wrap.
To hear how much money that's coming in is heartbreaking, because my grandma has a home on the reservation and there's no insulation in her house. And here you have this millionaire making money off of us, and we're here begging for help. All of the things that were created for us, we don't benefit from. All of this money that you see, we don't benefit a single dime from any of that. Why do we have to suffer? Why do our elders have to not have health care? Why is our people struggling when we could be millionaires,
My personal opinion is that they all need to be taken out.
All right, there it is. These are the Native American tribal elders saying the program that was intended to help them, not helping them, and they want the people who are exploiting them to the tune of hundreds of millions of dollars to go to jail. And those are exclusive video interviews filmed by our reporters here at OMG. We have one caller. Oh, we have a Kennedy, is his name? Wants to talk about Pedro.
Hey.
Go ahead, you're live. Go ahead.
Hey James, how are you? This is Kennedy Simonetti, longtime follower, and I respect your work tremendously. Going back to earlier when you exposed the pastor, Pastor Rodriguez, he said, "Oh, he's selling children, or he's stealing children," and immediately that just struck me as my spider sense started tingling. I thought, you know what, he didn't know what you were there to bust him about. He didn't know that it was about elections. And I think that his nervousness, it was confession by projection. I think that what he had to say was one of his root fears, not to get all psychological, but I think definitely that guy should be followed or investigated, follow the money. And also, the same way he didn't change his shirt, he didn't change his tie, all he did was move from one location to the next. I think that's the MO. When somebody is doing something wrong, they don't stop what they're doing, they just change the location. So I love your work. I wish I was still in New York, I would volunteer to help, but I think that guy definitely needs to be watched or followed or track where the money goes or who his donors are, because something's up. And that's my...
Yeah, I appreciate that comment. I appreciate your comment, Kennedy, and I mostly appreciate your willingness to go do the thing. And people say, what can I do? That's the obvious question everybody always, and thank you for the call. Everyone always says, James O'Keefe, what can I do? I think a lot of the people asking that question want to feel good about asking the question to me. Unfortunately, to do the thing requires sacrifice. It requires a sacrifice of your time, your money, and or your reputation. It has to be two of those three. So you can do this, and it's very rewarding. But it's like negative yield investment in accounting. It's often maybe detrimental to us in a material sense, but helpful to us in a spiritual sense, in a truthful sense, in a societal sense. And imagine, and like you said, it's so true. Pedro Rodriguez, confession through projection. Just throw the image, still image that you have on the video there. Just unbelievable image on screen I'm looking at of him saying that you steal children for exposing fake names on a paper. But that is all the time we have today for The Price is My Life. Thank you all for tuning in. Until next week and until next time, stay tuned, everybody. Take care. This is James O'Keefe. You know me for exposing the truth and holding the corrupt, elite responsible and accountable. However, today I want to tell you about protecting your own freedom, your finances. Before you buy any gold or silver, hear this. We're going through one of the biggest financial shifts of our lifetime. De-dollarization. Nations like China, Russia, and Saudi Arabia are pulling away from the US dollar. And that threatens your savings and retirement security. Legendary investor Ray Dalio warns skyrocketing debt, relentless money printing, and a weakening dollar are all part of a dangerous cycle that could impact you. That's why more Americans are turning to real assets like physical gold and silver. Gold just surged past $3,700 per ounce, and momentum is building. I've partnered with veteran-owned American Independence Gold to help you take action. Open a qualifying account today and get up to $10,000 in bonus gold and our free gold protection guide. And here's the best part. A portion of every sale supports Tunnel to Towers and Wounded Warriors. Freedom isn't given, it's secured. This is James O'Keefe. As always, this is not financial advice. Always check with your licensed financial advisor before you invest.